Hi, I'm David from Levika Photography, and today I am revisiting the AD360. And today I wanted to cover a few other things that I didn't cover in the first video, like the accessories that you can put on this and how to get it to work on the A7R, because we did finally figure this out, and it was from the help of one of you that sent me a link. Okay, so the first thing that we need to know is the X1 transmitter. On the A7R, now I showed you guys basically the rundown of this earlier, and on the A7R I was trying to use a pass-through to get it to work, and it would work but only at full power, and there were some issues and syncing problems. Well, guess what? I didn't know this, but with this transmitter, Flashpoint brought us this little guy right here, and this is the new 2.4 gigahertz Flashpoint SL transmitter or receiver. I didn't know that the 2.4 gigahertz version was out. I was still using the 433 hertz version that actually came with this unit. So that obviously created some problems. On here, I was having a hard time getting this transmitter to work. I could get it to work, but there's a few settings that I didn't tell you guys about because I really didn't spend the time to explore it. But when I did on this, things started to make sense. Okay, so here's the transmitter. And, you know, before I talked about the custom functions in here, and I didn't really get into that. So let's go ahead and go into the custom functions. And right here, the first function, this timer setting. Well, this has a lot to do with when the flash fires in sync with the shutter. And guess what? The answer to life is actually 42. So 42 milliseconds is what this takes to get it to fire on the A7R. So the A7R is a very unique beast because it is the only mirrorless camera that Sony makes, well, the only E-mount mirrorless camera Sony makes with a fully mechanical shutter. Now, what you're going to see is I slowed this down to half a second, and when I press the button, you're going to see the shutter go to the load position. It has to go down first, and then it comes up, and then it comes back down. So what happens is it goes down, and then gets ready to take the picture, and then goes back up. Well, that time when the actual shutter goes down is a 42 millisecond delay. So if I dive on here and turn this flash on, and then turn on my subject here, and I'm going to crank the speed of this up here. Let's go all the way up to in the high-speed sync range. Now we're in HSS, and we'll go to 1600. And then our flash here, we have to hit the mode and set button at the same time to get high-speed sync on. And now I've got high-speed sync. Oh look, it's Happy Robot Baby. He's so happy to see you again. Unfortunately, today it is going to be 118 degrees outside. So I have no chance of getting a model over here. What that means in Celsius is 47 degrees Celsius. Almost 48. Yeah, it's going to be fucking hot today. Anyway, let's go ahead and just take one shot with each accessory pointed at this, so that way you kind of get a feel for what it's like and the accessories that I really like, and I'll explain them and where to use them. The first thing is how to mount this battery pack to a light stand. I keep forgetting the actual mount for this. I leave it at the other studio, I leave it in the car, whatever. So these little clamps from Home Depot actually seem to fit the bill. You just shove it through the belt loop, and it clamps on nicely to the stand. Now the other thing is the dual connector, which is this part right here. This setup comes with a single connection going in, but if you use dual, you wear down your battery faster, but you get more consistent, faster lighting. And it does make a little bit of a difference, not huge, but definitely helps, especially when I'm using the Olympus, the OMD EM52 or the Pen F, doing high-res shots with the flash setting on. This can actually keep up with the default setting. Usually I'm shooting at like probably 1.3 seconds in the studio, And this at an eighth power will catch the light going around just for each 8 shots. So definitely excellent. The other thing is this accessory clamp right here to run your umbrellas through. And we'll get into this. There's been several things, or several different variations I've seen people do. They've mounted knuckles, like this knuckle, onto the side right here. That does work. I actually like the little accessory because it's small enough that I can leave it on there all the time and just kind of forget about it. But anyway, let's dive into this. First one is just going to be the default. This is what the flash comes with. And as I said before, this has 2 diffusers. So we'll just shoot this with both, and then we'll just remove it so you can see what the parabolic dish is by itself. All these are going to be shot at an eighth of a power. The flash will be in the same position for everything, just to give you an idea of the different types of lighting that you can do with this. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a picture with the default diffuser on this. With the diffuser off, with just the parabolic dish. All right, let's move on to the beauty dish. And I'll keep the grid on this because it's more directional light. This particular beauty dish I bought from B&H Photo, but it's the same one that Adaorma or Godox sells. Crazy sound when you use that thing. This is a traditional snoot, and I love snoots. Keep these everywhere with me. Let's see what this looks like. Actually looks quite good. It's like almost like a theatrical spotlight. Okay, and now let's try this snoot, and this is a very small, almost like a bulb protector. So let's see what this one looks like. And oddly enough, it actually creates a wider beam than this one, but not by much. This little parabolic dish is a wide angle parabolic, and you can use it by itself, or it has a hole in it to be able to pass through umbrellas. That way you get more bouncing light going forward and backward through, but it's very wide. So let's just go ahead and throw this on here. We'll take a shot by itself. That way you can see how wide it actually is. Very wide. Now let's go ahead and throw an umbrella on it. Okay, now let's just do a pass-through umbrella. And these are just translucent white. You know, they're not very exciting, but they seem to do the trick as far as diffusing light goes. So let's go ahead and take a picture with that. Okay, and last but not least, now these can be shot reversed, but they add ambient light to the room when you do it. So here's a little silver one, and this almost acts like a beauty dish going the opposite way, because for this one we got to turn the head all the way around to here and then tilt it down. Our subject like so. There we go. And when it reflects back, it gives you deeper shadows. But it's still a decently soft light because you're bouncing, but because it's silver, you get more of a tungsten tone to it. I guess that's the only way I could describe it. I've really grown to appreciate this Godox setup. So this has been around for a while. And now they've got version 2 with TTL. A lot of people ask, why don't I use the TTL version? TTL actually drains the battery faster because you're pre-flashing. So, you know, to me it's just a waste of time. I know how to meter. So I know how to expose correctly. I don't have to worry about that. TTL is for those of you that don't really know how to expose. To me, it's like the training wheels of flash photography. So no, I'm not going to test the TTL version of this because I don't need it. But realistically, out in the field, the accessories that you should take with you. I love the beauty dish. This thing is very handy. Love the grid. Keeps the spotlight tight. This little tiny snoot actually acts as a bulb protector as well. So it's a good one to actually just leave on there. I prefer the shape of this one more, but this does actually work pretty well. Both of these have grids on them. And then the default dish that comes with this is actually quite good. So anyway, I hope you guys like this review. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Otherwise, you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. And thank God I finally got high-speed sync working on this A7R. Damn, that makes me happy. See ya.